Hello guys, welcome back to another stream. So today in this stream we'll be building to-do list app. Thought of doing different today and not making a website. So this is a basic to-do app which basically does all of the CRUD. So we're talking about create, read, update, and delete. So you can basically list of your tasks. Let's say you can add cooking here, and let's say it's in progress. Also do minor, normal, critical. Let's say it's normal. You can see the task. It will appear right here. And you can also edit the task. Let's say cooking stew, for example. You can change it to that. That'll update the DOM. And also you can also delete stuff. So you can also say, it will say, are you sure you want to delete the task? And it will say after that it will delete, and the result summary will update accordingly. And at last you can also put a check mark to say it's done. And this also saves to your local storage, so you can come here, you can come out here, and basically it will be stored right over here, right? So also all right over here with all of the things. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So hope you guys are excited. This is the project that we'll be building in today's stream, and it will give you basic understanding of how CRUD is actually done in a website. And yeah, with that said, let's get started. Let's get into it. So what I'm gonna do is minimize that, and now I already have made a project folder, so I'm just going to use that just like that. And here I'm going to make my index.html, my style.css, and also my script.js. So these are three essential files, as you know by now, to do HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is make my boilerplate. So I'm just gonna name it Codynn flow, or I can just name it to-do list. You know what? Screw that. I'm not coming up with a different company name. Let's be real. It's fine. And the next thing I need to do is link my style.css file just like that, and my script.js. That is basic boilerplate, right? The another thing I can do is actually I can just go live. So just like that. So nothing I need to do is basically add my Cloudflare font awesome link. So this will basically let me use font awesome icons. Now, if you're wondering what font awesome icons is, if you go to fontawesome.com, they'll have a bunch of icons like this one right here. It's just, it's there by default. It basically lets you use, I cannot speak today, guys. My jaw hurts. I'm sorry, guys. So if I just copy paste this, just like this, it will basically, turn into a Google Play icon. So that will basically let me use that. So, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the introduction. Let's get started. I'm starving today a lot. I don't know what's happening today. So we'll start with HTML, and yeah, let's get started. So what I'm going to do is make container as always. Here, make a header, and also, by the way, the search bar you saw will basically make it, but it will only be for show. It will not actually work, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is basically just give that and just say I'm gonna give a class of FAS search. So this is what I mean by using font awesome icons. So if I just write this and save, as you can see, there's a search icon right there, right? You can also change it by, let's say, shopping cart. That'll change it to, shopping cart. So that is basically beauty of using font awesome icons, is basically don't have to download individual image source and just, be pasting it into your HTML. And you can also style this. I can change the color to whatever, let's say red, and it will change the color to red. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So after doing all of that, I will change the thing to back to search, because we don't need a shopping cart in a to-do list, am I right? So next thing what I can do is basically use the input field. So I don't need name and ID. So I'm just gonna put the placeholders to do search for any training you want. So this will again not work. So yeah. Hello Brian, welcome to the stream, man. How are you? Hi sir, good evening. Long time no see. I didn't see you live few days because of events I attended. Am I late? You're not. No, you're not late. We just started, man. How are you? Long time no see. Long time no see. So we're making a to-do list today, so hope you're excited. I know I just wanted to do basic CRUD and I kind of am feeling not great today, so like, oh well. So the header icons, so I'm just gonna use header, put a button here, give a icon button, put a give it a class for the icons. So I need a bell icon, so I can do fs fa bell. So that'll give me the bell icon. And here, what I can do is just do class notification dot. So this will basically be a notification dot that will be making, that will basically be, positioned absolute to the actual button, and that's pretty much it. And next is the user button. So I'm just gonna do icon button again. I'm good, sir, because you're live. Thank you. Long time no see. Class and do fs fa user. So this will basically be a user icon just like that. So that is for the header, right? Again, as I said, this header will only be for the show. This will not work, okay? But putting it there will make the website look 10 times better. So I just kept it there, okay? So we'll style this first. So you know what? Let's style this first. So after this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down here and just start my thing. So first thing is I'm just gonna do margin 0. I'm gonna do padding 0. I'm gonna do box sizing set to border box, just like that. And just do body, not that, oops. And here set the font family to this one right here. And do background set to, let's say, F0, F2, and F5. And give a min height of 100 BH. Also do padding 40 pixels and 20 pixels. I'm very excited to learn more. Thanks to your tutorial, sir. Free code, I appreciate. Someday I message that I actually do it. Thank you. Okay, that's good. Just try, man. It's fine. By the way, if you want the source code, it will be down in the description box below. So if any one of you guys are wondering where I can find the source code, it's usually down in the description. Okay. So the next thing is setting the max width. So max width will be around 1400 pixels for the actual container. I will not exceed that. And set the margin to 0 and auto. Also do background set to white to give, separate that. Just like that. And the next thing what I can do is basically set the border radius to around 30 pixels. Also do padding set to around 40 pixels. Also do box shadow set to 0, 2 pixels, 8 pixels. And RGBA set to this right here. Just like that. Give it a lift up effect, right? So next is display grid. And do grid template columns to 1 fraction and do 200 pixels per fraction. Just like that, and set the gap to around 30 pixels. So that is for the container. So the next thing that we can do is basically just do header and do display flex, do justify content space between, oops, and do align item set to center. Also do margin bottom set to center, and also not actually not to center. What am I doing? That to 30 pixels, and also do grid columns 1 2 -1. That'll basically make it it'll basically make it space between. That's the whole gist of it. Okay. So the next thing that we can do is put search bar. So just do search bar. Now for styling the actual search bar container first, not the actual search bar. Do position relative, so we have to put, because we have to put the icon to absolute, and next thing what we can do is basically do flex 1 and set the max width to around 500 pixels. So next is the input bar. So for this, what I'm going to do is set the width to 100 pixels, set the padding to 12 pixels and 45 pixels. Set the border to 2 pixels, solid E5, E7, EB. Also do border radius 15 pixels, and I'm just gonna do here for now. And here I can also do font size set to 14 pixels and do outline. What am I doing? Outline set to none. Scroll down because emits are hiding whatever I'm writing. And do transition set to 0.3 seconds at ease. So we also have to do all here, set everything, put transition on every single thing. Now is for the focused state, that is the click state. Here what I'm going to do for that is just do input focus and do border color and just set 8B, 5C, and FC, I guess. So this will basically be a purplish watercolor, as you can see right there. And that is the only that is all I'm gonna do. Actually, I'm not gonna complicate this. Now next is input icon tag and set that to absolute. Also do left 15 pixels and do top 50%. Also do transform, scroll down. Gan app, hello. Wow, okay, that's a nice name. And do translate negative 50%. That'll make it come to center. And set the color to a grayish color. So I'm just gonna do 9CA 3AF. That is the color that we have, and that is the search bar styled. There we go. So next is the header icons, which is all of those. Now for those, what I'm going to do is do header icons. So this is the actual container. Put it flags and do gap around 15 pixels. Also do align item set to center, just like that. Now to style the actual button. So select the icon button and do width set to 40 pixels, height set to 40 pixels, border radius set to 15%, border set to none, set the background to F3, F4, and F6. There we go. Cursor set to pointer, also do display flags, align items, center, and do justify content center. That will make it come to center. Ishan Sresta, welcome to the stream, man. Hi friend, how are you? How are you, my guy? How was your day, guys? I've always asked this in the stream, so let me know how was your day. Was it good? How was it? So here I'm just gonna do all 0.3 seconds at ease. Also set it to position relative. Now for the icon button hover state. So for the hover state, I'm just going to good. Love your life and Nepal. Thank you. Thank you. Love you too, my guy. So next one, I'm gonna change the color of that to probably that. It'll make it a little bit darker so it looks nice, I guess. I can also make a lift up effect, but making a lift up effect on the header doesn't sound good to me, so I'm just going to refrain myself from doing that. So the next thing what I'm going to do is set the notification dot. So if you remember, we basically made a span tag to make the notification button. Now to use that, I can just set it to absolute. That is the reason why we made the icon button relative, by the way. So do top 8 pixels, scroll down actually. Top 8 pixels, right, set that to 8 pixels as well. Also do width 8 pixels, height 8 pixels. There we go. Now set the background to red. And really, I'm just gonna use the red color hex color code that I have. So I'm just gonna do that. There we go. It's not like absolute bright red, you know. Now to make it a circle, I can just do border radius 50%. And yeah, that is our nav bar. I think it looks pretty nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the header. So next thing we have to do is after the header, make the actual main content. So this will contain a lot of stuff. There will also be models that you saw, that the pop-ups, right? We also have to make those. So yeah, and also make the right sidebar that you saw in the intro. So let's, you know what? We'll do it one by one, don't worry. So first make the main content the external wrapper. So that is the main wrapper for main content. Now I'll make 2 sections. One is title section, and we'll just go about making other sections. So here I'm just going to do title section. I'm going to do greeting and also give it a title of greeting. So this will basically be a greeting saying good afternoon user or good afternoon someone, right? But the thing is, it will dynamically change depending on when you use the website. So if it's a morning time, it will say good morning user. If it's a afternoon, it will say good afternoon, and if it's evening, it will say good evening. So it'll basically we'll make it dynamic. And the next thing that we can do is basically use h1 here. And now I can just basically put the text, which is the title. So I already have text here with me, obviously. I'm just going to use span and do task count. Also give it task count. So this will basically be dynamically changing. This 0 right here will be dynamically changing counter value. The more you add task, the greater the value will be. So I will have kept it inside a different span tag. After that, I'm just going to do task and do today. So here after that, I'm just going to do button dot add button. So this will basically be an add button. I'm also going to give a on click. So when you click it, it will basically run open model. So we'll basically trigger a function called open model, which again will make in JavaScript. And with that said, I think it should be done for all of that, right? So next thing what I can do is basically just inside the button, I can give it the content. So for content, I'm going to use the plus icon. So I can basically get that by using that class ID right here. And next is I can do add new, give it the content like that. And that is the section for that, right? So there will be 2 sections, right? There'll be 2 different, or actually 3 sections, depending on how many we want in this, to be honest. So for now, we'll make 2. I think we need 2. One is for on hold, so the tasks you are doing, and next is completed, which, you know, it's already done. So here I can just basically do section. I can just basically give it a class of section, or you can basically just give the section ID. It doesn't really matter, but when I wrote the code, I basically used section class, so I'm just gonna use that. I just realized I should have used the section tag, but oh well, it's too late for that. And here I can just do on hold and do on hold here. So this will basically be the task that you were, ongoing task. So here I can just give it an ID of on hold task, just like that, and that'll be the div for that. So after this, what I can do is I can basically copy paste this, right? And this will be header, and this here will be completed. And instead of doing on hold task, it will be span badge, also give another badge inactive. So just like that, it will basically be the class for that. And do inactive. And the next thing what I can do is wait. So after this, I just realized something, that this should have been inside here. I got confused there for a second. There we go. Here I can just do completed task, just like this. And that will be so these two will be the divs that will append all of our containers, right? So yeah. So we can style this now. So we'll go to our CSS and start styling. So first what I'm going to do is style the main content. So I'm just going to do main content and do padding right, set that to 20 pixels. There we go. Set the title section to margin bottom set to around 40 pixels. And do greeting, set the font size to 1 rem. Also do color, set a gray color. So I'm just going to use 6B727 to 80. That is a lightish gray color. So next thing is to set the margin bottom to around 10 pixels. So we haven't, so let me just write a quick greeting. So here I can just do good morning. There we go, that should be fine. So the next thing what I can do is style the title section. Set the h1. So which is this right here. So for that what I can do is basically just do font size, set that to around 42 pixels. I want it big. And do font weight set to 700, even though it's like almost the same thing. And next I can just set the color to, you know what, I can just let the color be as it is actually. So next thing I can do is basically set the title section h1 and the task count, which is this right here, right? And I'm going to change the color to a pinkish color. So I'm just going to do EC 4899. There we go. And with that said, next thing that I have to style is the add new button, right? So I'm just going to do add button, set the background to our signature purple, set the color to white, scroll down actually, and do border set to none, set the padding to 12 pixels and 24 pixels. Also do font size set to 12 pixels, font weight set to 600, and do cursor set to pointer, margin left set to 15 pixels, and do transition all 0.3 seconds at ease. Do that, and I forgot to put the border radius. Give border radius of around 12 pixels. That should be okay. Now for the hover effect, I'm not gonna go too crazy on the hover effect. I'm just gonna change the background to a darkish purple, so I can do 7C3. JD boy, welcome to the stream, man. Hi, how are you, man? And just do that. So if I hover over it, it'll be a little bit darker purple. And do transform, scroll down again. We'll use the transform property to translate this 2 pixels upward, just like that. And next I can set a box shadow to 0, 4 pixels, 12 pixels, and set the RGBA value to 13992 and 246 and 0.3. There we go. Now for the section, right? We have 2 sections. One is on hold and second is completed. Now for this section, I'm just gonna separate. I'm gonna give a margin bottom for both of these actually, just like these. And next, give a section header. Style the section header to be display flex, and do align item set to center and set the gap to around 10 pixels. Also do margin bottom set to 20 pixels. There we go. Now next is styling the H2, which is the actual headings, right? I can do font size set to 22 pixels. Font weight a little, make it less bold, and do colors, set that to 1F2 and 937. Just like this. Now for the badges, right? Now for the badges, what I can do is just basically select the badge first. If I go here, if I go to the actual HTML structure here, and here badge is this sign right here, right? The inactive text. Now to style this, what I can do is do padding, set that to 4 pixels and 12 pixels. Also set the border radius to 20 pixels, font size to 12 pixels. Also do font weight set to a little bit darker. Code for everyone. Welcome to the stream, man. How are you, man? Hi, welcome to the stream. We are making a to-do list, by the way. For guys who are wondering. Next is setting the inactive. So here I can just set, do background, set that to FEE to E2, and do colors, set that to kind of a reddish. I'm just gonna do DC 26, 26, and 26. And there we go. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the task, for the 2 sections, right? Now what we can do is we can basically we can start styling the actual containers for both of these, right? Now we'll basically use JavaScript to basically make these containers for us, right? Now I'll make the dummy container here for styling and just store it in a variable in JavaScript. So that's my plan. So yeah, let's go ahead with that. So I'm just gonna do, let's first do the on hold task. So where is it? So I'm just gonna come down here and make a task item. Inside the task item, I'm just gonna use the task checkbox, right? We can do task checkbox, and here I can give it a on click of toggle task. So we'll basically call the toggle task button, which will take a value where we'll but we will deal with that in the JavaScript section. So next thing that we have to make is the task content. So here I'm just going to do task content, do task title, and there we go. I will put title later. So yeah, we should be fine. So after this, what I'm gonna do is under task content, I'm just gonna do span. I'm just gonna do status badge. So it'll be basically be the status badge saying like on progress or completed, whatever. So here I can just set the status, give it a badge, just like that. For now, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Now I'm just gonna do status like something for now. I'm just gonna do that for now. And under this span tag, there will be a lot of things, but for now we'll just leave it empty, just like that. So next is the proprietary, priority badge, not proprietary. Priority badge will be the, what will be priority? So there are three priorities that we can set in our to-do list. That is minor and normal and critical. So there will be three. So we'll basically give the information about that. So I'm just gonna make one for that. Do priority badge. Now they will have different styling for different priorities, but for now I'm just gonna do priority something. I'm just gonna put that something. So this will have other stuff. So next thing I can do is give it a circle. I can just do class FAS FA circle. Where's circle? Just like that. And with that said, we should be fine. Just like that. Now for the main stuff, that is the edit button and other stuff. Here I can just do class. I can give it avatar, so it'll basically be an avatar. We'll use CF for that. I can make the edit button, and then we'll make the delete button. Again, we are basically trying to achieve every CRUD here, so I'm just gonna do icon. I'm gonna name it icon button. Give it a style of width set to about 30 pixels. And do height set to 30 pixels, and also give it on click and do edit task, and that will basically run that function when we click on this button. Next I can give it a content. So content will be a pen icon, just like this, and give it a style a little bit smaller font size, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So I can basically do the same for delete. Obviously copy that, it will be same. The only difference will be the function that will trigger. So they'll basically delete task. I'm just gonna do delete task here. So all of these functions will make in JavaScript, and we read JavaScript, so don't worry about that. So this will basically be trash icon, just like that. Give the font size to similar, and that's pretty much it. Now let's go ahead and style this first. So I can do task item and set the background, scroll down, set the background to white, and do border radius set to 15 pixels, set the padding to 20 pixels, set the margin bottom to around 15 pixels, put display flex here, align items set to center, and set the gap to around 15 pixels. Next is box shadow. I can basically set the box shadow to be around 8 pixels, set the RGBA value to be this right here, and put a transition transition to 0.3 seconds at ease. I can set task contents. I can just do task title, just do cooking something, put some title here. It'll basically look something like this, right? It will look something like this. And yeah, now there are a lot of more things that we can basically, use it for. We can basically put other stuff here, but we can't do it here because it's HTML, not JavaScript. Because there's a bunch of if else statement that we have to put later. But for now, I'm just gonna style it like this. And if you have to make any changes, we'll do it later. And here I can do transform. Transform, we can do translate x about 5 pixels. So just like that. Next is setting a box shadow. So we'll set a box shadow of 0.4 pixels and 12 pixels. Set the RGBA value to this right here. Yeah, looks pretty nice. And here, put a task checkbox. We'll set the width to around 20 pixels. Height set to about 20 pixels as well. Border radius set to 50%. So this will basically be a checkbox. Do border 2 pixels, solid set to that pink color, just like this. And do cursor set to pointer. Also do transition all 0.3 seconds at ease. And now for the completed. So if the thing has completed class to its class list, we'll basically change the background to the green color right here and set the position to relative. Now if it's completed, we'll give a after value for this. So inside the content, we'll set the content with a check mark. So I need a check mark. So check mark copy. You can just probably get that and probably get this. There we go. Now what will happen is we go here and we'll add completed here. So it'll look something like this. We'll position it absolute, do color set to white, also do font size a little bit smaller, and do top 50% and do left 50%. And now we have to make sure it's in the middle, so we'll do translate -50% and -50%, something like this. So this will be completed state, right? I'm gonna remove the thing for now. So next is task content. So here I'm just gonna do task content, do flex 1, just like that. Did I do something? I don't think I did anything. So that's great, and I guess that's fine. So the next thing that we can do here is the task title. Do task title, do font size, set that to 15 pixels, set the color to alternator black, and set the margin bottom to around 5 pixels. Do task title dot completed. So if it's completed, I'm just gonna do text decoration line through and set the color to that. So what will happen is if the task title gets this class, it will basically give it a line just like that. Looks pretty nice, and yeah, that is what it will do. So the next thing that we can do is do status badge. Now for the status badge, what I'm going to do is just do padding, set that to 6 pixels and 16 pixels. Also set a border radius of 20 pixels, font size of 12 pixels, and font weight of 600. Now there will be different status depending on like what is the thing. So for status pending, right? Status pending, we'll set the background to be FE, F3, and C7. And here also do color set to yellow. So I'm just gonna do F59E0B. That is the status pending. So if I just do status pending, it will look something like this, right? And so there are different things. So one is pending, another one is progress, next completed, and at last is canceled. So this is progress. I can just change the color to be different color here and change that to blue since it's progress. I'm just gonna do 3B, E2, and F6, just like that. And next I can set the background to D1, FE, E5, and set to green because it's completed. So do 10B9E1, just like that. And since it's cancelled, I forgot to change the names. So that's completed. And last, it's cancelled. So what is wrong here? There we go. That's the thing wrong. And yeah, that is pretty much it for the thing. So next is, what is next? Next is proprietary. Why do I keep saying proprietary? Priority badge. Now for priority badge, what we'll do is just basically first style the badge, which is I think the main container. Yep, it is. Yeah, what we can do is just basically get display, it has flags, do align items, set to center, set the gap to run 5 pixels. And that is for that, and do font size set to 12 pixels and do font weight set to 600. Now that is for the thing. So next is setting the priority, different priorities. So one is, as I said, one is normal, critical, and minor. So first we can start the critical, I guess. So since it's critical, what we can do is just set the color to a reddish color, so I can use that. Copy paste this because we'll only be critical. We'll only be changing the colors. So here I can change that. Since it's normal, you can choose a yellowish color. Next is minor. Minor is like whatever, so I'm just gonna do the green color. And there we go. So if I just do priority something, change that to, let's say, critical, and put that there, it will not there. We'll do something like this. There we go. Or we can do whatever we want later, I guess. That's fine. So after this is the avatar, right? So that is this thing right here. What we can do is just select the class first and set the width to run 32 pixels, height to run 32 pixels, set the border radius to 50%, change the background to that right there, and just do display flex, align item center, justify content center. As I said, it's a avatar, so I can just use that and do color set to white. If you're wondering what's avatar, is basically like a profile picture, so like profile, you know. Do font size, it just adds to the show, it doesn't do anything, as I said before. And set the font weight to 600, and yeah, that is pretty much it for the thing. So it is styled, so what I can do is we can get this, come down here, make a variable saying let's card task card, and we can basically put that there for now. That will make it disappear just like that. And yeah, so after all that, the only thing we have to make is the sidebar and the models. So yeah, after the main content, so this thing right here, after the main content, we'll basically make our sidebar, which should be right over here. So I can basically make a sidebar right here, do sidebar section, and also give it a title saying sidebar title, do results summary, and here just do stat card, do stat label, and do completion rate, do stat value. I also give it an ID actually, completion rate value. So this will be initially 0%, just like that. So after that, what I can do is give a progress bar. So this will basically be a dynamically changing progress bar. So we'll basically change that using JavaScript. So do progress fill, also give an ID of completion progress, and here put a style saying with 0% initially for my document here. So after this, what I can do is after the stat card, so that is one stat card right there. So we have to make a bunch of these. So actually not a bunch of these, I can probably make another one. There's another stat card. So this will basically be the total task. So every other thing will be same. I'm just gonna change the content and the ID actually to total task, and it's not 0%, it's 0. And the progress bar will be the same. The only thing different is the title. Change that to total progress. And with that said, I think it should be done. So after this, we'll basically make our two remaining stat card. So here, this will basically be the card that will show the total amount of pending task and the completed task. So here I can just do stat label. So let's say do completed. Here I can really copy paste that, change that to value, give an ID of completed count. Let's say that's 0. So next I'm just gonna copy paste that. This here is the total number of pending tasks. So also change the ID to pending, that's also 0. And that is pretty much it. So let's style that first. Now I can do sidebar. I can do sidebar, set the background to F9, F8, and FP. So that will be the background for the sidebar. Put the border radius to around 20 pixels. Park, welcome to the stream. How are you, man? Set the padding to about 25 pixels, just like that. So after styling the out-of-box container, what I can do is just do sidebar. What is this? Sidebar section, right? If I remember correctly. Let me check. There we go. That's it. I can set the margin bottom to be around 25 pixels. So next I can set the sidebar or sidebar title. So set the font size to around 18 pixels. Font weight set to 600. Set the color to that. Also do margin bottom set to 15 pixels. Next, set the stat card. Set the background to white. Set the border radius to 12 pixels. Set the padding to 20 pixels. Set the margin to around 15 pixels. And give an individual box shadow of 0, 2 pixels, 8 pixels, and RGBA set to that right there. There we go. Now for the stat label, right? For this, I'm just gonna set the font size to 13 pixels. Color, set that to our gray color right here. Set the margin bottom to 8 pixels. And now for the values, so I can just probably do this. Select values, set that to 2 rem. Font weight set to 700. And set the color to our signature black, just like that. Now it's for progress bar. Live with Abdikani. Welcome to the stream. How are you, man? That's a unusual name. So here I can just do width set to 100%, height set to around 8 pixels, and set the background to what we do? You probably set it to this. There we go. Border radius set to 10 pixels to smooth that out. And here set the overflow to hidden. And the margin top set to 10 pixels. There we go. I'm good, man. How about you? I am fantastic, man. Life's good. And yeah, everything's good. How are you? So next is progress fill, right? So for this, what I can do is set the height to 100% and change the background to our signature purple. And yeah, set the border radius to around 10 pixels. We have to set it to same pixel, otherwise it will not look good. And do transition, do width 0.5 seconds at ease. So when we increase the number of widths, so let's say the where is it? We set the width of this to a specific value. So let's say the width is 57%. Wait, hold, what? Progress fill. Oh, okay. We said, let's say 10%. There we go. It will be just like that. Let's say it's 50. It'll basically increase like that. Pretty cool. Now for the actual form to get the input, right? That is the only thing that's left in here, and after that we can start doing our JavaScript. So yeah, I think that is pretty much it. So since it's outside the container, I can just do that and put my model, start my model here, right? So I'm just gonna make a div called model with an ID of task model. I can do model content here, and here I can basically give a model header saying model header. do model header and do add slash update task. There we go. So obviously that this will be a form. So I'm just gonna make a form because it is easier that way. Here I will put a label first, saying label. This is not for anything. Do task title. Just like this, and put input. And here give it ID of task title, follow the camel casing. And do placeholder set to enter task title. And put it that to required, so user has to enter that. Now we have to basically give different form groups, right? Now what I could do is wrap this in one form group. Just make a div called form group to basically make it easier to style it, and just like this. So this is one form group, so we can do another one right here. Do form group and give the label. And here I can just give status, just like this. Now since this will be a drop down, I can just basically select. Scroll down. Here I can just give an ID to this. Let's say the ID is status. In first semester of university, I liked CSS and HTML, but in second semester we started JS and I hated it, but I don't know what caused because of advanced. We are in last sem now, data science and Flutter. That is weird escalation, but oh wow. I mean that's fair. I think that is common in IT for like just absolutely going entire thing. You started out with web development and you're ending with mobile development. Which again, this is very common, honestly. But yeah. I think the reason you started hating JavaScript is JavaScript is more kind of very logical, but it has a lot of things that you have to actually grasp the concept of. Whereas HTML, you just need to know the structure, and CSS you just have to know the properties and CSS box model. I think that's my guess. But I think it's the same for Flutter though. Flutter also has the concept of widget, which is basically the same as CSS box model. So that's, I don't know, man. And do pending here. And do progress. Set that, and let's say the content to that is in progress, right? And so what happens here is when you select from one of these drop downs, it will basically send for whatever you choose here, it will send the corresponding value to JavaScript. So here I can do completed. And yeah, that is another form group done. So another is the same one as these. I can copy paste because I'm very lazy, so bear with me. You can just set the priorities. So this is to select the task priority. You can just probably copy paste and paste it right here, and it should be fine. Now, as I said in the beginning, we have three different, you probably saw it in CSS, we have three different priorities. One is minor, so a task can be either minor, normal, or critical. So yes, I'll probably copy paste here too, actually. Do normal, make normal here as well. Put critical, and just paste right there. Make the first letter capital for all here. Okay, I just copy pasted it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So after the foam group, what I can do is basically uh what is happening? Oh, okay. Rianish Pagari, welcome to stream, man. How are you? Bro, is web dev future proof? That are there jobs really available? I started web dev, so I just wanted to know. There should be, yeah. I think there are. To be fair, it's like in my opinion, it's like how you code. Like there will still be the use case of web development because obviously people will keep using website unless like there's like a weird technology comes that like basically dethrones website. So the reason that you might be thinking there is not a future for web development is like AI, which again is a reasonable worry. But I just tell people to like not worry about that and just do what you're doing. And when you're just like really like know all of their stuff, you just use AI as an assistant, so that will basically boost your productivity. So yeah. Not only data science and Flutter, even Node.js and three subjects, but I need to master to my master to be data science. Though I got 1 year ago, this fits my future. Fair enough. Fair enough. So right now, I'm guessing you're just doing data science and AI or something like that. Flutter is even Node.js for banking. Okay, and three subjects. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot on your plate, man. Okay, so moving on to our to-do list, right? Uh, won't AI take over it? I don't think so. There will still be jobs for like people, I don't think AI will. I mean, AI could replace, but like I'm not a like expert, right? Like I don't think it can, but I will just gladly eat my words if it does take over, like normal jobs. So lastly is modal actions. It will just basically be a button with the class of button, another class of button secondary, and this will basically just close the model, right? And just on click, close model. This will basically close the thing here, and I'm just gonna format the document. This then format. Oops. I also need a cancel icon just like this. Yeah. So next button that we have to make, I can probably format document now. Okay, I forgot to put a type button. There we go. Now I can format document. There we go. Do format document. Now this will be the button for primary. So this will basically be for save task. Right? And here I can just do type and do submit. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There we go. So that's pretty much it for the model as well. So let's quickly style it and we'll just move on to JavaScript. So here I can just do model, and here I can just do display, set that to none, do position set to fixed, and do top 0, left 0, just like that. And just do width set to 100%, height set to 100%. Now this will basically be a kind of a filter, so I'm just gonna do that. The index set to 1000. So here I can just do display flex for now to show you guys how it will look, right? Here I can set the align items to center, also do justify content to center. So that will basically make it come into center here. Now it will be active if we push a active class into the class list from JavaScript. So we'll basically give a state for that. Now style the actual model. Now get the model content here. Set the background to white. Set a padding to around 30 pixels. Also do border radius set to 20 pixels. Do width about 90%. And set the max width because it cannot take the whole width to itself, obviously. Set that to around 500 pixels. There we go. Now for model header, what I can do is set the font size to 24 pixels, font weight to 700, and set the margin bottom. Yonko is live. Welcome to the stream, man. How are you, man? Do 20 pixels. Also do color. Set that to our signature black color. There we go. So next is styling for the form group. Set the margin bottom to 20 pixels each. Now to style the form group label, do display block. Set the font size to 24 pixels. Font weight set to 600. And do color. Set that to around 374151. There we go. Set the margin bottom to 8 pixels, and there we go. That's for the label. Now for the select and input field, right? Do input and just copy paste, and this is for select. Do width 100%. Do padding set to 12 pixels. Also do border radius set to 10 pixels, but I can also add a border here. Do border 2 pixels solid. Do E5, E7, EB, and set the outline to none. And do font size set to 14 pixels. Also do transition all 0.3 seconds at ease. There we go. One thing I forgot to do, and I could do, is just give a autocomplete of off. Now this is something that you don't have to do. I'm just doing it so it just like it doesn't pop the autocomplete text, like autocomplete pop-up of HTML, right? Now here I can just do format document, copy these two, add focus, add that to here too. Now I can just do, if it's focus, change the border color to our signature purple. There we go. And that's it. Now for the model actions versus these two buttons right here. Now for that, I can just do actions and just do display flex, gap set to 10 pixels, justify content, do flex end. Now for the buttons, I can set the padding to 12 pixels and 24 pixels. Set the border to none. Apparently I messed up the button. I forgot to give it button class right here. Set the border radius to 10 pixels. Also do font size set to 14 pixels. Set the cursor to pointer and do transition all 0.3 seconds at ease. There we go. Now for the button primary, what I can do, we have button primary and secondary. Change the background color to that, and here change the color to that. Make a hover effect for that button. Change the background to the darker orange. Now, oh, that's the same color. Oops. I mean this one right here. Now when you hover over it, it's a little bit darker. So next is the transform property. We'll do translate, set that to -2 pixels. Also do box shadow, set to 0, 4 pixels, 12 pixels. Set the RGBA value to that right there. There we go. Looks nice. Now for the button secondary, I can just basically copy paste that whole and change that to secondary. Now for this background, I'm just gonna do that right there. Change that color to 374151. There we go. Now for the hover, I'm just basically gonna do nothing but change the background to E5, E7, and EB. There we go. So that is our model. So for now, what I can do is just do display none, and that will be boop, gone just like that. Now to do basic media, I'm just gonna do a few media queries. I'm just gonna do max width, let's say 1024 pixels, and when we hit that, we'll just set the container to be grid template columns fraction. So when we hit that, it will be just like that. And otherwise, I don't think we have to make it too responsive, honestly. I think it's already responsive as well. Not too responsive, like it will not be too responsive for this, but it will be decently responsive for, yeah, the navbar is questionable, but other than that, that looks pretty nice in terms of responsiveness, right? Because most of it is just grid, that's why. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the CSS. So let's move on to JavaScript now. So for JavaScript, we already have a task card, just like that. We just made it earlier. So here I'm just gonna make a array to store all of our tasks. So I'm just gonna do that. Make an empty string. Also do let editing ID. So it'll basically be the ID for editing. Initially that will be null. Now the first function that we'll basically make is we'll load all of the data. So here I'm going to make a function load data. So since the task will be stored in local storage, now if there are already some tasks stored in the local storage, we have to get them. So we'll do local storage dot get item. We'll get, let's say, Codynn flow task, right? So that is the name of the ID. So next, if the saved exists, that means the save right here exists. We'll just do task equals to, since this is JSON, we have to parse that, do JSON.parse, and we'll do saved. Which is easy, web dev or data science? I think it's web dev. But data science, we have to do like a lot of things. So, yeah. And yeah, so the next thing that we have to do is we have to make an else block. Here, else we'll just put we'll make the task ourselves. So here I basically have a array of objects that we can make. So we can give ID for that. We also do title. So here I have a title with me right here. So I'm just gonna use that there. There we go. So again, if you want the source code, it'll be down in description box below. Next is status. Let's say the status is pending. And let's set the priority. Priority set to minor. I set semicolon there, oops. Next is completed. Set that to false. There we go. So this is one array of objects. So here I have bunch of array of objects with basically the same properties but different values. So I'm just gonna be a cheater and just copy paste. I'm kidding. It's just the same thing. I'm just saving time, guys. Spare me, okay? So these are all the same things but different IDs, right? That's it. So after this, I'm just gonna call two function here, do update greetings. So these are the functions that we'll make later. And basically our main function that we need to make later, that is render task. So this will basically render all of our tasks into our website, right? So that is for the load data. So next is update greeting. So here I'm just gonna make a update greeting function. This will first get the hours. To get the hours, I can do const hour equals to, we can call the date object. So we can do date dot get hours. That will give me the hours. So it will basically give me the feed. I'm just gonna show you. I'll just do console.log do hour and run this function here. Oops. We'll run the function here. So we can just do inspect. It will basically give me the time like that, right? On the 24-hour scale. Now we can use that. So let's say initially greet is good morning. So this is the initial value of the greet. Let's say greet is good morning. So if, we'll do if else statement here. If hour is greater than equals to 12, we'll and where is it? And do hour is less than 18. We'll just mutate the value of greet to good afternoon, right? Now we can just make a else if condition. So else if hour is greater than 18, we'll just set that to evening. And that is pretty much it. So next we can just do document.get element by ID. Oops. Get element by ID and do greeting.text content, and we'll put the text content in here. We'll do greet. And let's say we are greeting user called Codynn, and there we go. So that is the update greet function. So I'm just gonna close that for now. We'll basically call every single function first later, but now we're just making the functions. So next is save data function. So to save the data to local storage, we also need a function for that. So I can do local storage dot set item. As I said, we'll be setting item with the name of this. So I'm just gonna quickly grab that really quick and set item and do JSON dot stringify. That will convert it to JSON. We'll convert that to task, and there we go. So that is all for the save data function. So now for the most important function of all, that is render task, right? I'm just gonna do function render task. Oops, and just do pause on hold. So these are the function on the section right here that is still incomplete. And here I can do task.filter. We'll filter those functions which are not completed. So just like that, right? And here I can just do completed, and we'll do that are completed. So that will basically be it. Next is we'll just do document dot get element by ID, and we'll get the on hold task, set the inner HTML, and we'll do on hold dot length. We'll just set that and do on hold dot map. We'll basically map the item right here, just like that. We'll just do, so we'll put stuff inside this, right? So this is basically it. What is this? Oh, okay, so if I just format the document, here I can just do this. I'm thinking why it is giving me an error. Give me a second, guys. So for now, we'll just set that to that. We can just copy that actually. No, okay, so need to copy up to here, and we can basically paste it here, just like that. Now I can just do, I mean, I get why it's giving me an error, but this giving me error is not good, because this is giving me error because of the ternary operator I put. But it is kind of annoying because I cannot format this mess. But I can probably do that by joining that as a string first. And here, setting a or value. So we'll just do, so there we go, the thing is ended. I need to make a quick paragraph tag, so I'm just going to do here, give it a, not class, style of color set to 9CA3AF, and set the padding to about 20 pixels. Also do no task on hold. So that is the thing I need. Pretty cool. Just copy paste that. And actually I can cut paste that to I can basically just cut that and paste that there. Save that there. And yeah. Now we have to update few values here. So the first thing that I need to do is we have to put a class for this. So here I can just check if here I can just do t.completed. If it's completed, then just put the class completed. Otherwise, set to empty string. There we go. So next is on click. So we have to pass an ID here. So do t.id. So another thing we have to do is style the content. So for the content, we can basically we check if it is a completed. So we'll do t.completed. If it is, we'll just set completed right here, or we'll just do empty string. And put the title to suitables, doing t.title, just like that. Next is span. So after doing status, checking the status, we have to basically put the status. I'm just gonna do t.status. That'll give me the status. And inside this, I can just probably do something like if t.status is equal to progress, right? If it is, then we'll put it in progress. Otherwise, we'll just get the t.status.char at 0. Change that to uppercase, and we'll add that to status dot slice 1, just like that. We'll format the document just like that. Now last is the priority badge. So we'll set the priority to that. So do t dot priority, set that to that first. And at last, inside side after that, I can just set that to t dot priority dot char at 0. That'll basically select the first character of the string, if you're wondering. And change that to uppercase, just like that, and concatenate that with priority dot slice 1. There we go. So yeah, that is it for the thing. I apologize for the thing being horrible, at least for the thing, right? And yeah, that is pretty much it for the first on hold length, right? So the next second thing that we can do after the whole thing ends, right? What we can do is for the completed task, we have to render the completed task as well. So do completed, document dot get element by ID. We'll get the completed task. Set the inner HTML completed dot length. We can do if it's completed, then we can do completed dot map, and we can basically just do that just like that. So here I basically have the same thing, but kind of a different thing, kind of a different approach. There are a few different things, but I'll point out them right away. So the first thing is in the completed. So here by default it will be completed, so we don't need to put this if else statement here. We can just set that to completed. Now that will basically toggle class ID on click, just like that. It will have the toggle class ID, and that is pretty much the same. One thing that I saw is we messed up the task thing, so put that task content right there. So task content is there and there. So another one is this. So the title will be completed, and what is other differences? I'm kind of thinking I'm looking for differences. I don't think we have any more. The priority is the same, like this one right here, and the status is also completed. I can probably close that, change that right there, set that to the caps lock is on for some reason, and set that to status completed. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this side thing. I don't think we have to do anything. So at last, we'll just do dot join, and again we'll just do copy, and we'll put an else saying that. So it'll be same thing. We'll just say no completed task. Now to update all of the DOM, right? I can just do const total equals to task dot length. That makes sense. That's the length of the array. And do completed count equals to task dot filter. We'll filter the task. Do task dot completed. If it is, we'll just do that right there. Okay, so we'll just do task dot completed dot length. There we go. Now do const pending equals to total minus completed count. Next, I can just do const rate equals to total. If total exists, we'll just do math dot round. We'll just do completed count divided by total, and we will multiply that 100%. We're doing this for the progress bar, okay? Otherwise, we'll just set that to 0. There we go. Now to actually fill everything into the DOM, so we'll do document.getElement by ID. We'll get the task count and just do text content, set that to pending. Now we have a bunch of these, so do task, right? Next is completed count. Next is pending count. The last one is the completion rate value. So, okay, so to put everything here, the first one is obviously pending. Set that to total, set that to completed count, set that to pending as well. And at last, set the completion rate to rate plus, we have to add a percentage symbol. And here we'll just do, we can just copy paste that, do total progress. And then in this case, it's not style content. We'll do style.width. We'll change the width of the progress to rate of that, and do completed completion progress. Change the width to the rate, just like that. And with that out of the way, and the last thing we have to do is just call the save data function here. And that is the render task function. That took a while, but oh well. So now we don't need this. Now we can move on to next function. The next function is toggle task. It will basically get an ID. We'll get the task first, so we'll do task dot find. We'll find the task if the task.id matches the past argument ID. Right? Now, if the task exists, so if the thing actually finds the actual task, we'll just do completed equals to t dot not completed. We'll just set that to not completed, and do task.status equals to set the completed. If it is, we'll just set to completed. Otherwise, we'll just set that to pending. And we'll do render task, just like that. And yeah, so this will basically make sure the task is ticked or not. Okay, that's pretty much it. Now, next thing is, next function is the delete task. So this will basically delete the task. Now if we'll do a confirm. So this is a function that will basically put an alert message kind of, and we'll basically say, are you sure you want to delete this task? We'll ask them that, and only if they say yes, we'll basically get the task. So we can use the filter. So do task dot filter. We'll filter between that. So since the filter only keeps the things that are like which return true, so I want it to return false, right? So here I can just do that and just do render task. There we go. So after the list task is the open model function. Do a function open model. Here we'll do document dot get element by ID. We'll basically get the task model and do class list dot add. We'll basically set that to active, and that is pretty much it for the open model function. Next is close, right? So for close model, we have to remove the existing model first if it's active, and we also have to set the form to, we have to reset the form. So the form on the thing has, we can reset that. So we'll do document dot get element by ID, get the task form, and we'll just do reset for that. Next, I can just say editing equals to null. There we go. So now we will basically need to get the form. So we have to make sure it gives a, we have to listen to the submit request and or submit event, and we have to just append the task accordingly to this, right? Now for that we can do document dot get element by ID, get the task form first here, do add event listener. We'll listen to a submit, and if we will listen to a submit, and after that we'll run the following callback function. Here first I'll do e.prevent default to make sure the website does not reload, and do const title equals to document dot get element by ID. We'll just get the task title. We'll get the value from here. Now we need all of those. So this is title. We also need status, and at last we need priority, right? Now for the status, that'll give me the status, and at last that will give me the priority. But that will give me the 3 values that we need, right? Now if the editing ID is null, so editing ID is null, that means if it's not null, sorry. So if it's not null, we'll just do const t equals to task dot find. We'll find the task and do t dot id is equal to editing ID, right? And we'll just do t dot title, set that to title. We'll do t dot status equals to status. We'll do t dot priority, set that to priority, and do t dot completed, set these, give the status, and we'll just put that to completed. Else we'll just push the task to our list. We'll do task dot push. So since it's array, we can use the push method, and we can do give an ID of date dot now. That'll give me the date of the thing, and do title, do status, do status, and also do priority, and at last do completed. Give that to status equals to completed. There we go. Now we can do render task and do close model. Now for the edit task, right? Here what I can do is where is the thing? So we have basically done this, right? So here I can just make a last function that is edit task function. That will get the ID for that. Do editing ID equals, set that to the ID, and const t equals to, we have to find the task, so we'll do find t. We'll do t.id is triple equals to id, and do if t document dot get element by id. We'll just first get the task here, not task title here, set the value to whatever the title has, so we'll do t.title. Now we have to set the other status, so we'll just do status and just get the priority here. So now I can just basically, this for title, this is for status, and last one is for priority. So we'll get that and do open model. So we'll open the model for that specific thing. Now we can just do load data. And there we go, guys. I think it should be working fine. We already have a error, so here cannot set properties for now, whatever. What is the error? So for total we can do task. Right, so the render task was in render task, right? Okay, so it's right over here. I do that, there is no result. No wonder it didn't come. I think I set it to a different value, then I must have. Oh, it's total task, not that. Oops. So it should have been total task. See if there is any other errors. Again, another error. So the edit button is not working. That is weird. So is the delete button working? That is weird. So it's not throwing any errors, so it's not working as well. But okay. Oops. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, the CRUD is not working. So it's probably like making some kind of thing. Oh, I should refresh the page. Okay, so here, what is the problem? What does the problem have to be? So when you do delete task, here we have the task. Did I do something wrong? New render task. not probably rendering, so it's not getting the ID. So if I just do console.log and do log the thing here. Now if I just do this, sys array, so it's basically the thing, but it's not reloading. It's not reloading the thing with that. So if I just no, give me a second. So if I just delete this, and this is the thing, so it still has a thing, so it still hasn't deleted. So the filter is not working. That is what's happening here. So I must have done something wrong with that. Interesting. So here, if I okay, so if I just do delete. Oh, okay, I haven't. Oh, wait, I think. Oh, okay, I forgot to pass the ID. Oh well, I forgot to pass ID for both edit and the delete task. I was wondering why it didn't work. Because it was sending a null ID, so it was still like every single one of the filter were returning true. It still does not work for some goddamn reason. Does the check work? Okay, at least the check works. And every other things work. That's weird. I don't know why it's not working. Damn it. Wait, hold up, man. Okay, I see why it's not working. Damn my. Yeah, just. There we go. Okay, just there we go. There we go, guys. Please, please. Okay, don't worry. Now see if it edits working. That is okay. It works. It works. It works. I'm just dumb. I'm just dumb. Okay. I think that's pretty much it for our to-do list. I'm sure that you guys don't consider me a complete idiot for doing that, but that was kind of embarrassing. One thing I haven't checked if we can add our things. There we go. We can, and we can check off our things just like that. We can also boop remove that from that, and the most important part is it getting saved in local storage. Guess it is. And that's it for today's stream. I consider this a good success, even though I kind of embarrassed myself at the end. But yeah, with that said, I'll see you guys in another stream or another video. Till then, bye bye and good night, everyone.